I was going through my addiction and committing a little crime, and it kind of led me to get incarcerated.
After having served 20 years in prison, you try to find the catalyst, the moment where you go wrong, right? It was just me simply not wanting to be a kid that listened to authoritative figures.
You know, I didn't feel like what happened to me was fair, and I was trying to just get my get back by any means, by any way I can. Trying to fill a void, trying to fill my pockets, fill my stomach, you know, whatever I had to do.
You know, you're raised in an environment or whatever your whole life, and this is all you know. You can't become a firefighter. It's a real 180. You know, you being a menace to society, now then you actually being a hero.
When you got that CAL FIRE uniform, that U.S. Force uniform on, you're gonna be on. But what are you gonna do though for it?
If you really want something, you will sacrifice the things that you've been holding on to that's hurting you.
Own it. Own what you did. I owned what I did, and I was confident when I got out into society that that was behind me, but it actually built me.
This is an opportunity for you. The job is so hard, it's so rigorous, that I asked myself, what in the hell are you doing out here, dude?
You know, if I'm in this, I'm in this. It ain't no way out, you know, burn them boats.
It's no more wasting time. I gotta stay strong for the women that's fighting out here.
We push the limits, we see where they at.
You're gonna have to do push-ups before you do push-ups. We're not going to Disneyland when that call comes.
There's no training for wildland firefighting like doing it.
It's in me to be a firefighter.
Move it. Hey, whoa. Hold the line. We talked about verbal and nonverbal communication.
I just paint the picture that the time that they spent was an investment. So that way when I get them, they have a sense of pride. Society already kind of spanks you around, and you know, you get shut down, you know, wanting to go get a job. Oh, you have a felony. I try and lay a foundation to start that professional, you know, own it. Own what you did. I owned what I did, and I was confident when I got out into society that that was behind me, but it actually built me.
Move it.
I was committed to the California Youth Authority for 6 years. I did 3 years, 4 months of that time, and I was committed for armed robbery and 2 counts of assault with a firearm. And that's basically where I learned how to fight fire.
So this is the heli-tac crew right here.
Crews initially used a direct attack strategy to fight the fire.
It's a nonprofit program that helps individuals that are going in transition from being incarcerated that had previous fire experience, and basically providing a pathway to help get them into the fire service when they come back to society. While you're incarcerated, they learn how to build things, how to fight fire, work on things, so that way when they come into the real world, they have an avenue to do it. With the fire service, it's a little bit more challenging based on, you know, if you have a criminal record and what that record looks like.
You take the lead, I'll take the rear. For sure. Okay. All right. I just fell in love with fire. But at first, like, it was a struggle because I'm a city kid, right? When I was a kid in the valley, I seen red engines all the time, and I never seen somebody that looked like me. That wasn't even a thought in my brain to be able to want to be a firefighter.
One of the things that we instill into everybody is discipline. If you can't be disciplined, you can't do this job.
I was 17 years old when I was charged with a 211. It's called robbery. I ended up doing a year and like, I think 13 months. But I knew when you have that felony, it was gonna be ugly because I was charged as an adult. Well, it all started when I got a knock on the door when I was actually incarcerated in Mississippi. They called me and said, hey, you need to talk to your counselor today. And when I went there, talked to the counselor, they gave me the opportunity to go to fire camp. And I'm like, fire camp? Like, what is that? But then I started to actually take on a challenge, and I knew that I could be able to become a wildland firefighter and eventually figure out a way to get to CAL FIRE which I worked with the U.S. Forest Service on a Type 2 crew called the Mojave Greens in the San Bernardino National Forest. And from there, my career took off.
Down, up, one, down, up, two.
You know, we push their limits. You know, we see where they at and try to get those things out of it and realize like you have to change. You got to eat better. You got to look professional. You representing something bigger than yourself.
We're like a unit. It makes us more unified, and with the push-up things and stuff like that, your shirt's untucked, you know, you're not looking the part, the professionalism, then we do some push-ups. What you saw out there with us all doing push-ups is that, yeah, I operate at this chief level, but it took me time to get here, and I'm a reflection of what I wish for in myself, and so if I issue you push-ups, I'm gonna do them as well.
Hey, let's flip that tool around. Downhill side.
I wanna be able to kind of get into their mind
on the fire
and feel how I could help support them, and supporting them is painting the picture of what the expectation is immediately. And that might be having to peer into their eyes when they're at the worst on the hill.
What are you feeling? What's your mind telling you?
No. Do it, Lanisha.
Hey, just dig deep. This is where you find, that's not walking stick.
But see, they're at their worst on the hill, but I'm right there with them.
Feel it inside. Embrace it. What you're feeling right now is natural. You just gotta keep chiseling. You gotta keep hammering away. If this is something that you want, you know, you gotta want it, right? We still got work to do.
I mean, it's not hard, it's just my breathing.
Right there.
Like, I kind of gotta learn how to breathe when I'm moving, because that's what takes me down, because I can't really get my breathing stabilized. But once I learn that, it'll be real easy, because I'm used to carrying around a lot of weight.
Learn how to just make it to it's comfortable for you, you know what I mean?
Getting prepared and ready to save lives and help people is something I always wanted to do. I was going through my addiction and committing a little crime, and it kind of led me to get incarcerated. I got tired of going back and forth, in and out, so I just decided to change my life around.
Do you remember this kid?
It was wild. My childhood, growing up in Oakland, I had fun a lot. I had a lot of friends. I moved around a lot. I was a little hard-headed kid. I didn't really listen. I did whatever I wanted. I didn't have no one telling me what to do. So I was always in charge of myself. So I was able to catch the bus, leave out at night and be in the streets at any time without getting on punishment or getting in any trouble from my authority, from my mom or from my grandma. I was just free. I was told at a young age that I was molested and I had no idea, and that it was by my father. So it kind of took me off, it took me somewhere else that because I always wanted my dad around, but I never knew why he wasn't around. So my mom told me, it was I kind of got real mad, I was pissed off. And I just said, just it, and just left out and did what I wanted, because it just, I don't know, I felt some type of way about that. It's obviously something that I lacked in my life, so that I have it now. It's supposed to be this way. So I just take it in and soak it up like it's natural, because I never had it. So I figured if I've been having all these problems and running into the law and going in and out of jails because I never took authority well, so I just take it like that's what it's supposed to be.
Remember that it's double that size.
I want to be a hero for my family, for the women, I just want to give back to the community. I've took so much and been through so much that I feel like I'm obligated to, you know, give back and share with everyone and teach my brothers, my little sister, how I'm not just who I used to be. I'm their hero now, and it feels great.
She was always in and out, in and out. Anywhere you go, in and out. But now, I am so proud. I couldn't be a prouder granny. It took a lot of praying, but we made it. Ooh, we made it, girl.
Love you, Granny.
I love you, baby. I'm so proud of you, Nene.
Thanks.
I've been bragging too, girl. I've been bragging to everybody. I told Keela, I say, girl, you'll never think Nene is a firefighter.
How long?
Let's go!
I just had an 85-pound pack on the day before yesterday on the treadmill. I'm really trying to get my legs right. That's what I'm saying, bro. If you don't do this, it ain't gonna seep into your bones, man.
Oh, man, I've been
You got to push yourself till you ain't got left. I'm talking about till you about ready to pass out. Then you know what your limits is. I'm from the Bay Area, Fairfield, California, and I am a trainee for wildland firefighting, FFRP. So I got one older brother, 3 years older. Parents had us in baseball, basketball, soccer, tennis, Boy Scouts. I was on a swim team. I did rock climbing and I did snow skiing. So, in him and me both being involved in sports, I thought it was cool. The 3-year gap, enough space to where you're distant from your brother, but not so much to where we couldn't play together.
Yeah, these are the days when me and my brother were really close. Yeah, I loved it.
Unfortunately, later on, that bond kind of drifted away, but that was due to my later choices as an adult. Even though I was this Boy Scout, sports playing kid, it was that allure to, that freedom of choice that the street life has, where I can choose for myself, where there are no rules, you make them up as you go. And I fell completely into it. I was living a double life. Here I was, it was this Boy Scout, but at the same time, I was still in the streets. So, and this is the craziness of it, is my life was good. I was in a really good place in my life at that time. I had just turned 18, and I got 12 years for robbery, so that put a kibosh to all of my little visions of being a street entrepreneur real fast, huh?
I finished my career as a prevention officer. Prevention, man, that is we all work in prevention. In fact,
I remember my dad, right before I took my 12-year deal, I didn't want to take it. My dad told me, he said, son, I've spoken to everybody I can possibly speak to legally that I know. And everybody's told me this is the best possible deal that you can take. And he told me, he said, son, if you take this deal, he said, I'm gonna make you a promise. Every month, I don't care where they put you. If they put you on the moon, me and your mom will find a way to come visit you there. And he kept that word to me. Every month for 10 years straight, my parents didn't miss a month coming to visit. So I came home to a stable foundation where I was a canvas that was waiting to be painted. So the rest of my life was waiting before me at 29 years old. I met the woman that was gonna become my wife. I met the woman that was gonna have my kids. She was close with my mom and my dad. She lived close to my family. Her family lived close, so we were settled. It was like, this is where home front was gonna be staked and claimed. So I had a good job. I had an incredible woman at home. So 6 months after we met, we became pregnant with our son. So here it is, I got a little guy on the way. She had a 6-year-old daughter that her and I became extremely close, so which became my daughter. It was a good life. So I found myself in a situation where we had made some investments and some major purchases and had a newborn baby. And we were low on money. Michaela, our daughter, leaned over one night and was like, Mommy, Daddy, I have no snacks for lunch at school tomorrow. And after just putting the rest of our money in her gas tank, in my gas tank, and I didn't want to ask for help from anybody. I chose to be a prideful young black male living in a predominantly Asian and white neighborhood and do what I always did. I decided that I needed it at that moment and did something I did as a teenager, went out and robbed another store.
Take this serious. This is a whole life changer for y'all. I'm telling you, when you got that CAL FIRE uniform, that U.S. Forest uniform on, you're gonna be on. But what are you gonna do though for it? You can't just stand there and lay there and not do nothing. Still party, still drinking drugs, still doing whatever. You can't do that. You can't. It's a lifestyle. It's this lifestyle change.
You know, you're raised in an environment or whatever your whole life, and this is all you know. And being able to understand that you is looked at as a public nuisance when you've been incarcerated, right? But now you gotta look and like see yourself as a public servant. So it's a real 180. You know, you being a menace to society, now then you actually being a hero, right? And that's where I think the mindset of understanding that you have to change your habits, you gotta actually dig deep inside and evaluate self and say, hey, what am I willing to give up in order for me to get to this ultimate goal?
I think about all the stuff I've been through and I think about where I'm going. Sometimes it's like it's surreal because this is something so new to me and I'm doing better, but you know, the world ain't doing no better. The streets still the same streets, it's just I'm choosing to walk differently on them. Growing up, I was only child. Lived with my mom and my grandma. You know, we didn't have the best living situation. My mother was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. It happened so fast that, you know, we're thinking that she can get treatment. I was speaking with her, you know, after she was diagnosed. And, you know, shortly after that, within a few days, maybe like a week at the most, she was pronounced brain dead. My grandma passed while I was incarcerated, and that just hit me with a double whammy. I was just toe up. And, you know, losing my mom and my father as well, too, you know, I just kind of started to wild out. You know, I felt I was owed for the life that I was living. I didn't feel it was fair. That's one of the things that I regret, you know, that they kind of, you know, left too soon to see me at this point.
I want to give people hope. I want to give people options. When I leave this earth, I want to, you know, be happy and, oh, I'm getting a little emotional. I really want to help people, like, cause when I was a kid, I didn't have a father figure. I met my dad when I was 18 years old. And I thought, you know, if I had somebody that could really guide and direct me, I probably wouldn't even had to take this route. Seeing is believing. That's something I really believe in. And like, if you see somebody, you know, a young black boy, look at me and see me in this uniform, and we talk about the mountains, we talk about the forest, we talk about trees, that'll be something that he can actually like absorb and take. And like, man, I actually like, that might be cool. It's something that I can see myself doing because I see somebody that looks like me.
I was devastated because I really put in a lot of work. It's in me to be a firefighter. I just learned my lesson from being absent and late, and I'm just gonna be more consistent and do whatever's necessary to make sure that I stay on course.
We're down to less than half of the people we started with, which is unfortunate. But, you know, everyone has their way in life, and I believe that, you know, still through, they'll make their way. This may not be for them, and they realize that like we were told, it's never too late to quit. I took that to the heart, and I realized that I don't want to quit, and I'm not going to.
I didn't find myself in a stage of ever wanting to quit and say I'm gonna drop out. But as a firefighter, the job is so hard, it's so rigorous, that there are absolutely times when I'm hiking up a mountain or I'm in the middle of doing something where I've been in it for so long that I ask myself, what in the hell are you doing out here, dude? You don't have to do this. I mean, you don't have to do this job right now. There's plenty of other professions that you know how to do. But it's them, it's my daughter and my son. I put them before me, and I imagine them in that moment, seeing me working hard and cheering for me. Like, let's get it, Daddy.
So as folks come, Let's make sure. I think we're gonna have like a, sorry, we're trying to get organized, folks. It's the first one, okay? It's the first one, bear with me. All right, next we have firefighter Fowler, Benjamin Fowler.
As a father, you often think about how long do you have to see your kids be successful? Find a track that they can follow. And if the Lord takes me today, I'm good. I'm good.
Next we have firefighter Marable, James Marable.
We're here, we at graduation, we made it, you know? It's been a long time coming. And absolutely, we went and did that as a crew, as individuals, you know, we did all that together. You know, with the support and help from our family, our loved ones, and you know, our overhead, our chiefs and our captains, we went and made that happen. And I'm just so happy for everybody that's gonna go on this positive trajectory in their life and, you know, change the narrative.
We have provided a platform and opportunity for folks to pursue this career is definitely, you know, we got a lot of work. Look, we got a lot of folks that's gonna be knocking on the door. This is the beginning, knocking on the door. And now that we have a location in Southern California, have a location in Northern California, we can constantly provide those opportunities for folks. So I'm just excited about, you know, our venture together and being able to give the people these avenues.